To my database management systems final virtual presentation for my project. I did a school database project because I use the Gonzaga's database quite a bit during my for my on-campus job, and I kind of wanted to dive under the hood a little bit and see what it was all like to engineer something like that. An overview of my cases. So we have add a student to the school records. Obviously, your school needs to have students. So this will add name. It'll assign them a GUID. I'll get into that more later. Their major, email, so on. Add a student enrollment info. So these students need to take courses. This is where you add what course they took, what grade they got, and so on. Drop a course for a student. If a student wants to drop a course, eliminate it from enrollment. In the case that a student graduates or transfers, we can delete the student, and this will delete the student from all tables in the database. So it'll just eliminate them everywhere. Update an email, easy, change email, change major. Show a student's enrollment information. This is a nice one. It will show every class and grade and that the student has taken in the school. Show a student's parents. It'll show their guardian of the student. Display most common major over time, so most common major by every year. Average GPA for major, so if I select a major, I can see what the average GPA is in that program. Show faculty. What this does is it shows faculty name, ID, department that they work in, the building that they work in, and so on. Find a student. This was more just for me for debugging purposes. If I ever ran into an issue and needed to find a CID, I could put in an email and get a CID in return. Let's get into it. Quick demo. Let's start with adding a student because that's pretty important. We'll add a student. We'll say this guy is Tommy. His last name is Dunne. His birthday is this. And we'll say his email is just hdone for now. Okay. And we'll say he's a business major. Now, as you can see, we get an error, duplicate entry found. This is because in our tables, in student, we have a GUID, which is the primary key, but we also have a unique constraint on the address. And so what's interesting about this code is when I go to the add student function here, blah, 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 I get all this information. The first query it does is it takes the max GUID and then increments it by 1. So basically I'm creating a surrogate key here. So this is my primary key, but I also have the unique constraint on email. So if I put the same email in, it'll violate the table. And this is where it queries inserts the new student along with all their other stuff. Next cool one that I want to show, let's say show students enrollment info. Let's say for GU3, just for example. So this person was Charlie Davis. He's taken 2 classes at this school. C105 linear algebra with Gina Sprint, got a grade of a B. Charlie Davis also took C106 general biology 1 with Carol Taylor, C+. This is a unique query. There's a couple joins that go into it because student exists in his own, course ID exists in its own, and the name is associated with the course, and instructor and grade. This was a multiple table join to get this result. Very cool. Another interesting one, let's say show average GPA by measure. So we say 10. Let's say business. Let's say business. So business majors for just 2022 and 2023, because that's all the data I have. 2.4, yikes, rough time for the business majors in 2022. And then 2.4, so didn't get much better in 2023. Most involved queries would probably have to be my enrollment info, which I talked about a little bit. So this takes It takes all the students' information, course information, and grade information. And so grade information, there's two kind of grade information tables that need to be joined in order to get actual viable result that tells you something. And so this was a pretty elaborate, fun to do query for that. As for the next one, probably the count for the business for the most common major by year. This was a good one. Very applicable in real life to just see, hey, what is my school offering and who's taking it? Cool query there. Also, the parent one is pretty cool because you need to join a couple tables to get the right information. As for things that aren't working or challenges, I like to tell myself that this works pretty well. I tried to refine it as much as I could. The challenge was for sure creating just an initial queryable schema to joins, queries, all that stuff. And then I thought the idea of creating the surrogate keys in Python was pretty fun. That was fun to do. And how I got my data is I would give AI an example insert with like just a couple rows and say, make this a bunch more. And I'd get a bunch more data. So highest quantity was student with 50, or no, it was parent with 100 because each student needed 2 parents. At least that's what I did for it. But yeah, that was my database project. I hope you enjoyed. Thank you for listening.